In this episode, we are going to learn how to draw shapes using Arcade. So let's go first to the documentation and click on the API reference. And here also API reference, so expand this. And here you will find the primitives. So click on this. And here you find all the view commands in Arcade. So as you can see, each of these has a field and also an outline version. So we are just going to take a look on few of these shapes or primitives. In order to draw something in Arcade, you should override the onDraw method in the arcade.view class, so in this game view class. So let's create the onDraw method. So on_draw, and this returns none. And this method will be called every frame, so 60 times in a second automatically, so you don't have to call it. And the first thing what you always have to do before every draw call is just clear out the Windows color buffer. You can do this with this command, so self.clear. And if you run the program, we will see nothing new because the clear color is set to black. But if you want to set the clear color, you can also give to this clear method tuple or a list of color values. So I'm just going to give it 255, 255 and 255, and this is red, green and blue. And now the window will be cleared to white. If you want to have a red window, you just have to set the green and the blue values to 0, and now you will have a red window. So I'm just going to set it back to black just by removing this tuple. So here we are going to draw the primitives after the clear function. Okay, let's start with drawing two circles. One circle will be a filled circle and the second circle will be an outlined circle. So we can draw a circle with this command. So arcade.draw circle filled. And this takes several parameters like the center X and the center Y, which is the position of the circle inside the window, the radius of the circle and its color. And for the center X and center Y, I'm just going to position it on 100, 100. I'm also going to give it a radius of 30 and the color will be a tuple, so 255, 0, 0, red, green, blue. And now if I run it, we have this filled red circle and its position is 100, 100. So starting from the lower left corner of the window, 100 to the right and 100 to the middle of the circle. Now let's draw also a circle outline. So arcade.draw circle outline, and I'm going to position it on 150 and 150. So XY. Also going to give it a radius of 30 and I'm also going to give it a color of red. Let's run it. And now as you can see, we have this filled circle and this outlined circle. Okay, now let's draw rectangles, and there are multiple ways to draw rectangles in Arcade. Let's go to the documentation for a second. So here under the primitives, you will see that we can draw rectangle outline, rectangle outline, rectangle field, rectangle field. The difference is here we have to specify these LRBT values, so left, right, bottom and top. Here is left, bottom, width and height. Here is also left, right, bottom and top, and left, bottom, width and height. Okay, let's go back to PyCharm and let's draw these rectangles. So the first rectangle I'm going to draw will be this draw LBWH rectangle, and it will be a filled rectangle. And we have to specify the left, bottom, width and height of this rectangle. So the left will be at 250, the right will be also at 250, and the width and the height will be 100 and 100. And also let's give it a color of these. and let's run it. And now as you can see, we have this purplish rectangle, and the left is at 250, so we are going from the bottom left corner 250 to the right, then 250 up, so to this corner, and from this corner the rectangle is 100 pixels in width and 100 pixels in height. Okay, now let's draw also this with an outline. So arcade.draw LBWH rectangle outline, and giving it the left, which will be also 250, the bottom will be at 50, the width and height will be also 100 and 100, and the color will be, for example, blue. Okay, let's run it. And now we have this outlined rectangle, and its color is blue, and its position is 250 to the right, 50 pixels up to this bottom left corner, and from this point 100 width and 100 height. Okay, now let's do one more rectangle with transparency, because until now we just used three colors, so red, green and blue, but you can also set the transparency. So rectangle field, and I'm going to set it so that it overlaps this rectangle. The position will be 200 and 200, and its width and height will be also 100 and 100. And let's add to it a color, and I'm just going to use this red color here. And let's draw it. So as you can see now, this blue rectangle overlaps this purple rectangle, and if you want to make it transparent, you can set its fourth value, which is a transparency, and this is also from 0 to 255, so let's set it to 100. And now as you can see, this blue rectangle is transparent, so the underlying rectangle is visible. If you want to draw arc, you can also call the arcade.draw arc field or arc outline, and here you have to specify the center X. I'm just going to give it 500, and the center Y, so this is the position of the arc. Give it a width, I'm just going to give it 100 width and also 100 height, and also going to give it a color of green, so red, green, blue, and a start angle and an end angle. So a start angle will be 0 and the end angle will be 45, and this is in degrees. So let me run it, and now we have this arc. So its angle, start angle is 0, and it has this 45 degrees. It is like a pizza slice, so technically it is 1/8 of a circle. If you want to draw 1/4 of a circle, just change this 45 to, let's say, 90 degrees, and you have now 1/4 of a circle. Okay, draw one more arc, which will be an outlined arc. So arcade.draw arc outline. Center X will be at 550, the center Y will be at 350, the width will be also 100 and the height will be also 100, and let's give it a color, which will be green, and also a start angle and an end angle. So start angle will be 0 and the end angle will be also 90 degrees. And now we have this outline arc. Okay, let's draw the parabola. I'm just going to draw it as a field. So draw parabola field. Let's give it a start X and a start Y. The end X will be at 300 and the height will be 100 pixels. And let's give it also a color. And its color will be this, so red, green and blue. And let's see it. And now we have this parabola with this pink color. Okay, and the last primitive or shape what I'm going to draw will be just a simple line, and using the arcade.draw line function. So this takes also the start X, which will be 600, and the start Y position, which will be also 600. So this is the first point of the line. The second point will be X 800 and Y 650. So start X, start Y, end X, and end Y. And lastly, just give it a color of this, so red, green, blue. Let me run it. Okay, now we have this line segment. You can also set its thickness. So let's say here after the color you can set the thickness value, for example, to 2. By default the line width is set to 1. And now we will have a little bit thicker line. So this is how you can use Arcade's primitives, how to draw Arcade's primitives. And if you go back to the documentation for a second, you will see that here there are much more options, much more primitives that I have showed you in this video. And one more information at the end of this video. Until now I just created colors like this as a tuple of 3 values between 0 and 255, but Arcade comes with already predefined colors. So for example here this is red. I can use, instead of creating a tuple, I can just use the arcade.color.red color value. As you can see, it is still red. Let me open this arcade.color module. And as you can see, here are several hundred predefined color values. So it starts at line 9 with aero blue and it ends at line 10-15 with this Zinwaldite brown.